Okay, let's raise some big questions then from our top two stories. Rahul Gandhi's Gen Z call to action. Is it a recipe for anarchy or is it much needed? Is Rahul Gandhi defending or damaging democracy by taking on the election commission in the manner that he is? Are Indian elections now under a cloud, and is this a litmus test for the election commission and not for Rahul Gandhi? Some of the questions I will raise. Joining me now, Sandeep Shastri, Vice President, Niti Education Trust, political analyst and commentator who's been tracking elections and particularly for years. Sanjay Jha is a former congressman, now a political analyst. And also joining me, Rajat Sethi, political commentator who's worked closely with BJP governments. I appreciate all of you joining us. I want to come to you, Rajat, first. Rajat, do you believe that Rahul Gandhi, when he asks Gen Z to come out and defend the constitution, save democracy, is it a recipe for anarchy, or as the BJP alleges, or is he doing what any political leader wants, try to galvanize the young to take a stand on certain contentious issues?
Well, Rajdeep, good evening to you and to the fellow panelists. See, if you look at those words in the tweet, you cannot necessarily draw a conclusion that they have any kind of a malified intention per se, but it has a subtext to it. We've all seen what has happened in Bangladesh, in Nepal, also to some extent in Pakistan. Reaching out and calling to Gen Z has some implied political signaling, a dog whistling as well, trying to draw in lessons from the neighboring countries and try and, use the same recipe of some kind of anarchy here. Now, will he succeed or not succeed? Time will tell. So far, he has raised questions around constitution repeatedly over the last decade or so, and most of them haven't worked. On the farm issues, yes, it did work, where the government had to withdraw schemes, even without going into the merit of it. The government just felt the pressure. Now, what Rahul Gandhi aims to do, he needs to galvanize his base. He has been losing elections on a spree, and there has to be a reasonable sort of, explanation as to why is my leader losing elections after elections, and he needs to have a potent answer before the Karyakartas. How else will he go out and face them and energize them? So I think he's trying to use this as a core issue around which he brings in some kind of a fighting spirit into his base, so that they can fight out on the streets and ensure that they are fighting with some hope that yes, that I've put pressure on the EC, so you would not be taken for a ride and you can go out and continue to fight elections. I think that is where the larger message is. Otherwise, you see, Rahul Gandhi has been picking issues around elections, but like flavors of ice cream keep changing, the issues keep changing, and we don't see issues being taken to a logical conclusion. When Pawan Khela, his party's main spokesperson, himself has two epic cards, then very little is left in terms of imagination as to, where is there a genuine mistake and where are the mistakes which are generally true for the entire process in the election commission across party lines, across phases of our democracy. My main point here is, had Rahul Gandhi credibly, without, reasonable doubts, he would have established something even in one mohalla, one village, where he could patently come out and claim that yes, rigging has happened and this is the modus operandi. I believe a lot of people, not just Gen Z, a lot of people would be hitting the ground. But in my understanding, there has been no clear single case which he has presented before the voters, before the public, where he could have justified. You look at the Karnataka case as well. What does the MP say, the Congress MLA say? He clearly says that we were vigilant and we stopped that. That is the job. This is what Tej Pratap is also saying. If you believe that the votes are getting deleted, be vigilant. Go out and hit the streets and ensure every voter is getting accounted for before the voter list is finalized. And any responsible leader should focus on that effort. But I believe Rahul Gandhi here is focusing on the optics part of it to galvanize his base.
Sanjay Jha, respond. Is Rahul Gandhi focusing on the optics to galvanize his base, to excite them, to give them a sense of fighting spirit? Is he being reckless by making allegations without 100% proof, as Rajat Sethi seems to want? Is he spreading anarchy and disaffection among Gen Z? Or is he simply doing what any opposition leader would do, trying to expose the government where he believes they should be exposed?
Good evening to you, Rajdeep, and to both Sandeep and Rajat. The truth is this, that Rahul Gandhi's performance in both the press conferences where he's challenged the election commission directly is unprecedented in India's political history that I am aware of, where using official data, he's put compelling evidence out in the public domain. He's actually spoken on behalf of every citizen in this country, even if it's a BJP supporter. I believe tomorrow, if the Congress were to be in power, would the BJP supporters like you to abuse that power by misusing institutions like the way the BJP is doing today? So the truth is that his political brand, Rajdeep, and I know he has had many critics, but they need to eat some humble pie now. He's a transformed politician or a leader after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. A lot of people today see him as a custodian or a sentinel of India's democracy, flailing and failing at its seams and at its core. And if you look at the whole issue, it's not just about the press conferences where he's challenged the election commission, which, by the way, hasn't responded to them. The fact is that if you look at his vote, the whole Adhikar Yatra in Bihar on the
So
SIR
who are these
issue,
lots of people? Sanjay Jha, Sanjay Jha, who are the lots of people who are responding to Rahul Gandhi? The fact
I'll
is,
give you an example.
he's lost, like it or not, more than 80-85% of the elections he's contested. Ultimately, validation comes from voters.
Yeah.
Are the voters backing Rahul Gandhi? Rahul Gandhi makes allegations. The opposition says, or the BJP in this instance says it's shoot and scoot. You throw some dirt and hope that it will stick. It's done out of hope rather than conviction.
Well, I think that can actually apply to the BJP, right? This desperate attempt to try and target Rahul Gandhi at every stage, when the truth is that the reason why they are worried is that Rahul Gandhi's whole SIR exercise, the battle that they have done on motorcycles in Bihar, has crossed Bihar. I'm from Bihar. I can tell you that while it's going to be a key electoral issue there for sure, this is an issue that is being discussed all over the country. It's caught the public imagination. People are concerned, Rajdeep, about democracy. This is no longer a conversation for you and me, English-speaking people, doing in Mumbai and Delhi in our drawing rooms. People across the board are worried about where India is headed and where are their rights to vote. So here is the crux, I believe, that Rahul Gandhi today, in the eyes of the BJP, is representing the 99% of Indians, while Mr. Modi is being seen increasingly as a man who represents 1% of India. And the truth behind that is the reason why the BJP is panicked. Now, can you imagine a country which is so young, right? If you look at the Gen Z definition, I'm sure Rajat knows that, are those who are born after 1996, I think after 2009-10. That's a young population, mostly jobless, by the way. And Rahul Gandhi is asking them to protect India's democracy and constitution, and the BJP is getting paranoid about it, to call him as a dangerous anarchic threat. I mean, it tells you how this party is essentially lost its entire constitutional health. It's really in a panic mode. I mean, it's just bizarre that a young leader asking the young of this country who are the future to be participative. What is the BJP? That's an authoritarian culture of the BJP.
Okay, let me bring in Professor Sandeep Shastri. Sandeep Shastri, does the truth lie in between, somewhere between how Rajat Sethi sees it and Sanjay Jha sees it? Because do you really believe that this vote chori allegations will lead people to take to the streets? The farm laws led people to take to the streets because the farmers felt their rights were being affected. Here, the youth isn't really concerned about vote chori, is it? Do you believe it is? Is there any evidence, statistical, anecdotal, otherwise, done by pollsters that suggests that on vote chori, people are ready to hit the streets on allegations of vote chori?
Good evening, Rajdeep and my fellow panelists. I heard with great interest what Rajat ji and Sanjay ji said. Point number one, upholding of democracy or attack on democracy, both these perspectives, I think, are selective explanations of reality. I would neither call it an attack on democracy, nor would I call it an upholding of democracy. It is a debate which should happen in a democracy, which unfortunately has become a war of words and not become a meaningful debate. Point number two, when a leader appeals to a segment of society and people talk of what is happening across the region in India, I would still believe in the inherent strength of the foundations of Indian democracy, that people are not going to be swayed by what is said, but people are going to go by what they see as the reality on the ground. I think what is happening is the
So
personal
India won't go the
attacks
Nepal or
on
Bangladesh
all
way.
sides.
You're drawing a clear distinction between institutions of democracy in India and those in Nepal and Bangladesh.
I am. I believe in the fundamental robustness of our democratic foundations, which does not mean we should take things for granted. But I believe that we should not see statements, counter statements, as either the challenging of democracy or the strengthening of democracy. What, Rajdeep, I think we need is an end to the war of words, and what we need is an end to personal attacks. What we need is not going overboard with words. Now, even in the Aland Assembly constituencies study, it was an attempt at, now if we were to believe what has happened, it was an attempt at vote chori and not a vote chori. And this attempt at vote chori has also been acknowledged by the Election Commission in its statement. So I think it's important for us to be fair in our analysis of reality. I think somewhere that fairness of our analysis is caught in the crossfire of these words of politics between parties.
You know, Sanjay Jha quickly respond, then I'll come to you, Rajat, because Sanjay Jha, you see, Rahul Gandhi tends to speak, many believe in extremities. He makes points, according to his critics, that are reckless. His supporters say he is saying inconvenient truths. But maybe when you're in politics, sometimes you need to also look at the complexity, the nuance. The point that was made by Sandeep Shastri, if there was an attempted vote chori or attempt to deletion, it was caught by the Election Commission. The fact is an FIR was filed. But the sense seems to be that you don't believe in any institutions. You think every institution in this country is somewhere corrupted by the party in power. So there is almost a nihilism in his politics.
Well, let me tell you, Rajdeep, I'm glad you asked me that question. You talk of institutions. What did the Supreme Court say on the ED? It told the ED, why are you fighting political battles? The same ED that harasses the opposition. Is that not the death knell of democracy? The same Supreme Court that told the ED, why are you behaving like crooks? This is the Supreme Court. I'm not quoting an opposition party. Is that not literally sounding the bells, literally the extension of democracy? This is what the BJP has done to the country. We all know that. What has Rahul Gandhi said? You know, Sandeep makes a very technical point. An acknowledgement or attempt at deletion, it exposes the Election Commission, which first said online deletions cannot happen, but actually stands contradicted. And it took the leader of the opposition to sit with his team and put it out in the public domain. What about the epic issue that the Trinamool Congress raised in West Bengal? I mean, we get very carried away by our own romanticism with democracy about how many people vote and how many booths are there in a national election. The bigger issue, Rajdeep, remains the voter suppression, the kind of threats we saw in Uttar Pradesh to voters, and even the EVM issue that remains unresolved. I think Rahul Gandhi today, like it or not, even his worst critics will have to recognize he's fighting for what matters to this country. All of us on this program, Rajdeep, are very privileged English-speaking people. Rahul is fighting for the Dalit, the Adivasis, the minorities, the middle class. He's even fighting for business and industry that is not a crony capitalist. I mean, I believe that's the kind of political leadership that we need. I'm saying that the BJP is faulted. It came with aspirations, it's failed.
Okay,
and I think Rahul Gandhi represents a hope. I think he's the future. Mr. Modi is clearly, in my opinion, the past.
Rajat Sethi, quick final response to what you're hearing. Do you believe that the BJP also has been served a bit of a wake-up call? that they still see any statement of Rahul Gandhi is latched upon the BJP to say, oh, Rahul Gandhi, I just heard Devendra Fadnavis is an urban Maoist. He's an urban Naxal. He wants to spread anarchy. I mean, it's almost as if the opposition is not allowed to speak out without being labeled as an urban Naxal or an anti-national. Is asking questions make you an urban Naxal or an anti-national in this country?
Well, Rahul Gandhi steps up on the stage and says, Prime Minister Gaddi Chodo. And he is trying to uproot an democratically elected Prime Minister of our country. Isn't that anarchy? And then you have, then you are trying to question if BJP retorts. What should BJP do? Sit in silence and allow Rahul Gandhi to come in and bulldoze everything, every aspect of our institutional stability of our country. Chapter 1 towards Nepal is actually starts by creating doubt around institutions. This is what Rahul Gandhi is busy doing. He used to say the same against the Supreme Court, which Sanjay ji is currently hailing as the biggest keeper of our conscience of our constitution. The same Supreme Court has said enough about the CBI and the manhandling of CBI that the UPA Sarkar used to do not too long ago. My Gen Z friends watching this program might not know, but I was your age when UPA was in power. I know what authoritarianism looks like. You have forgotten or you have never experienced that. So don't go by what Rahul Gandhi is saying. Look at what he has been doing in his actions in states where states after states ruled by Congress is unleashing police after journalists and after God knows how many political activists. That is the real face. Now coming to the moot point here. See, Rahul Gandhi needs to understand elections.
Rajat,
again, I'm coming. See, Rajdeep,
let's be clear. It's not as if BJP ruled states have also targeted journalists. Let us not take the moral high ground at the moment on creeping authoritarianism.
Therefore, Rajdeep, I did not get onto a moral pedestal the way Sanjay ji is trying to get onto. I'm not. I know real politics is ugly. I am acknowledging that. Therefore, I'm going back to what Rahul Gandhi said on vote chori. See, elections happen in a country in a very, very decentralized way. What you need to do is when draft voter lists are present, you need to have your workers, your party's booth workers to look at those lists, flag the deletions at the appropriate time. There are remedies. If the remedies don't get resolved in a due process or within the due time, you have all the right to go out and fight for every single vote which has been wrongly deleted. You cannot preempt that system only because you as a princeling are standing up and trying to say that everything is stolen in this country. That is the wrong way to address it. There is a process that has been laid out after a lot of deliberations over ECs after ECs for decades and decades in this country. You cannot come out on a pedestal and try and say things just because you don't have the experience of running elections at a grassroots level. Where have you stood and sat together with your people who handle the...
Okay.
Sir, please wait. Please wait. I did not intervene when you were talking. Where has he sat together with people who are looking at those forms? Where has he ever sat with the draft voter list with his own party karyakartas and looked at list by list and tried to identify why are the reasons which certain names have been deleted and certain not?
Okay.
And try and fight for it in the polling booths. He's trying to fight it in Delhi and fight it in those cosmopolitans in the hope that the Gen Z is going to hit the road. It won't happen. I'm sorry to break this news to him and to you.
Rajdeep, 5 seconds, please.
Okay. You can break it to Sanjay Jha, but Sanjay Jha, there are those who believe Rahul Gandhi is making these statements without accepting the flaws of the Congress and his own leadership. You see, you want to substitute the lack of reforms within your own party, your failings within your own party, especially the lack of a ground game. Your BLAs, your booth level agents should have picked this up long time ago, whether it was in Maharashtra, in Karnataka they did. In Maharashtra it was too late. My point is, rather than believe that all institutions are discredited, why don't you actually work on improving your ground game?
Well, Rajdeep, let me tell you, all these things happen concurrently in politics. I mean, just because the Congress lost elections in the past doesn't mean that it has lost the right to win them in the future. Here are two short responses to what Mr. Sethi said. And your viewers should know the data. That the difference, NDA has got around 44% of the total votes in India, and Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister. The India bloc got around 42%, 2% less, and Rahul Gandhi is leader of...
How much did Nehru get?
1 minute, just 1 minute, please. I did not interrupt you, Mr. Sethi.
No, you were.
Here is the point. So can you imagine, Rajdeep?
No, 1 minute, Rajat, let him finish.
Yeah, can you imagine that the BJP and the RSS and the ecosystem calls Rahul Gandhi an anti-national and the opposition an anti-national, they're insulting all the voters in this country. They're insulting each and every one of you who have voted for the India Alliance. They're calling you anti-national because the MPs represent you. They're calling the people of India anti-national. Can you imagine the arrogance of this party? And the second point, you are insulting Gen Z BJP.
Okay.
I mean, Gen Z is not insurrectionists because they are being asked to protect Indian democracy. Don't insult their intelligence. Don't insult their vision and commitment to India, BJP. Just because you're intellectually defunct and morally compromised.
Okay,
please
I've
take
heard
your
No,
own
this is
parameters.
absolutely wrong, Rajdeep.
I just
This is
have a minute.
absolutely wrong. He's trying to sermonize and
No,
talk
no,
and
no,
try
no,
to
no, no,
paint,
no, no,
paint an
Rajat,
entire,
Sanjay, 1 minute.
paint the
Sandeep
entire
Shastri.
44% as intellectual defunct. He claimed that 44% of this India is intellectually defunct. This is, I take strong objections to this. He can keep his report card to himself. Nobody gives two hoots about it. The country has chosen a leader with an absolute majority.
Okay.
Now let that government rule. If you have issues, keep fighting on the streets. Nobody is stopping you from doing that.
Okay. One final word from you, Sandeep Shastri. Do you fear that all of this is because politics has become so hyper-polarized that there is no dialogue? All of these issues, ideally, even about the election commission, should have been settled possibly in a democracy through dialogue. But there is no dialogue anymore. And particularly the government simply will not even give the opposition the space, whether in parliament or outside, to have that dialogue anymore. Nor will the media. Large sections of the media will shut out the opposition.
There is this intense. Now, there is no doubt that there is this hyper intense polarization. I'll put it in another way. Why do debates take the form of we the opposition, they the ruling party, or we the ruling party and they the opposition? Why cannot be it a debate of us, the political class, taking a decision? Why does every debate has to be between one side and another side? Why does everything have to be made as we versus they? The country looks at the political class coming up with an us rather than a we and they.
On that thought, that we can get away from us and them politics, I try and avoid noise on this program so that we can get to hear more voices. There was a bit of a skirmish between Sanjay and Rajat, but I appreciate both of you listening to each other, and that perhaps is the way to kickstart a dialogue. Rajat Sethi, Sanjay Jha, Sandeep Shastri, appreciate you joining us. I want to turn from there to a piece of breaking news that we are getting at the moment. 2 Assam rifle jawans have been killed, 5 injured after unidentified gunmen have ambushed a security convoy in Bishnupur district of Manipur. The attack took place around 5:30 p.m. when the vehicle carrying 33 Assam Rifles personnel was moving from Impal towards Bishnupur. The injured have been rushed to nearby hospitals where they are receiving treatment. Now, all of this comes against the backdrop of the Prime Minister being in Manipur just a few days ago. Shivani Sharma joins us with the very latest. Shivani, do we know who these armed militia groups are who are responsible for this attack on the armed personnel of the country? 2 soldiers, we are told, have died.
Rajdeep, 2 soldiers have died and 5 are injured who are undergoing treatment at RIMS Impal, and yet we do not have information about these unidentified gunmen who opened fire on this military column, in this Assam Rifles column that was en route the NH2 in the Bishnupur district. And this is the area particularly, Rajdeep, which is a denotified area. That means here the AFSPA is not applicable. So in the darkness, in the hours when there was darkness in the evening at around 6 p.m., the ambush was opened on this army, the Assam Rifles convoy, and 2 personnel have been killed while 5 are under treatment, and the search operations are still going on.
Well, remember, Manipur remains still flush with guns, and that is one of the concerns, of course, that many of these militias have still not laid down their arms. Shivani Sharma joining us with that troubling news coming in from Manipur. Let me turn to now more breaking news, and that's coming from one of my home states of Goa, where the Panjim police today have now arrested all the 6 accused in connection with a murderous assault that took place on an activist, Rama Kankonkar, only yesterday. The activist was allegedly assaulted in just outside the main city of Panjim with a cycling chain, had his shirt torn and cow dung rubbed on his face by 6 people on Thursday afternoon. Kankonkar has been taking on various civic issues in Goa, including speaking out against the state's drug mafia. So that is the story coming in. The accused have been arrested. Remember, a fearless activist assaulted in broad daylight in Goa, stabbed, beaten, left for dead, simply for speaking truth to power. As Goa erupted in anger today, hundreds of people surrounding the police station in the main city of Panjim. The question is, who sent these people to attack an activist? This is more than just violence. It's a chilling warning in a state that's otherwise been known to be relatively peaceful. Take a look.
In the heart of Goa's capital, a social activist is cornered and nearly killed. Rama Kankonkar, who is vocal on corruption and civic issues, was brutally attacked by 6 assailants in Panaji on Thursday. The assault took place in daylight in front of many onlookers.
कुछ अक्यूज हमको पता चला कि डोडा मार्ग की तरफ हो सकते हैं, तो वहाँ पे हमने एक स्पेशल टीम बना के भेजी। तो वहाँ बस स्टैंड एरिया में हमको एक रेस्टोरेंट में ये 2 लोग मिले, एंथनी नादर और फ्रांसिस नादर। उसके बाद फिर उनसे पूछताछ की कि बाकी लोग जो साथ में हैं, जिनका नाम हमको ऑलरेडी पता था, तो उनसे पूछताछ कि ये लोग कहाँ पे हैं, तो उन्होंने बताया कि शायद किसी रेलवे स्टेशन पे ट्रेन से जाने की प्लानिंग है उन लोगों की।
Opposition parties and NGOs hit the streets on Friday. Angry crowds tried to enter the police headquarters. The protesters threatened a statewide bandh if all suspects are not arrested.
The way outsiders are trying to capture the lands in the state of Goa, and definitely we will wait the next call, whatever is been given by the activists, we will make sure that we will support it.
1 साल से हम सवाल उठाते जा रहे हैं कि गोवा में लॉ एंड ऑर्डर जो सिचुएशन है वो बिल्कुल नाकाम हो चुका है, बिल्कुल फेल हो चुका है। और इसके लिए बीजेपी की जो गोवा सीएम डॉक्टर प्रमोद सावंत की जो सरकार है, जो कि होम मिनिस्टर भी है, उनकी कंप्लीट नाकामी दिखाती है। और ये आज साबित हो गया कि गोवा इज नथिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर।
Chief Minister Pramod Sawant promised stern action against the assailants.
अशा पद्धतीचे इन्सिडेंट सरकार कशाच पद्धतीन टॉलरेट करचेना। हांवें पुलिसाक इन्स्ट्रक्शन्स दिला, जो कोण ह्या फाटल्यान आसत पळय न्ही, ताका जाता तितल्या बेगीन ताका अरेस्ट करून ताका जी शिक्षा दिवपाक जाय ती दितली। सरकार विल नॉट टॉलरेट अशा पद्धतीचे कसलेच इन्सिडेंट हे टॉलरेट करचे।
Who ordered the attack? Why was Rama Kankonkar targeted? Goa's angry citizens are demanding answers. With Ritesh Desai, Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me now is one of Goa's most prominent activists. I'm joined by Dr. Oscar Rebello. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Rebello. This is shocking. In the heart of the city, just outside in Karanzale, in a residential area, someone being beaten up as we are showing those images on the screen. What do you make out of this? Are we seeing the gangs of Goa? As one of the opposition leaders said, like gangs of Wasepur, we now have the gangs of Goa, Dr. Rebello?
Rajdeep, I think this is something whose time had come. For the last decades, Goa has completely got corrupted. It's just become a product that has been sold by hook or by crook. We have these same gangs of ministers who one day are white, with the Congress to power in Goa, they'd be green with the garb. But it's the same guys for the last 2 decades who are ravaging the environment, who are indulging in. And the worst bit is a major national. Now the BJP keep encouraging this keep making them the heroes of Goa with immense amount of power, immense amount of resources at their disposal. And obviously, whenever you have concerned citizens and genuine activists and all the rest of them who are fighting with their backs to the wall against this degradation, go away. There's nothing to some kind
we are
of
having a lot of
solution.
problems. We are having a lot of problems with your audio, which is again one of Goa's problems. The lack of communication in some parts of Goa. But I want a quick answer to you. Is there a solution? You're telling me that the politicians have simply shifted from one party to the other. There is Ayaram, Gayaram, or Aya D'Souza, Gaya D'Souza politics at one level, which is very problematic. So the political class seems to have lost credibility. But where is there? I come back to it. What is the solution? What is the solution that a relatively peaceful, idyllic state like Goa should see an activist brutally assaulted like this in the heart of the city?
So unless we get to the mastermind, Rajdeep, unless an example is made of the mastermind, fired guns fired in jail, now arrested, who have had this, for forever.
Okay. Oscar, I'm afraid that our line is very bad and therefore we will miss the opportunity to hear you. Maybe we'll do this on another day, get the lines fixed. But I appreciate you joining me. I know that it isn't easy in Goa for people to speak out, but I'm glad that there are people like you who are still speaking out and speaking truth to power in Goa. Thank you so much for joining me there, Oscar Rebello. Okay, I want to turn from there to another special report that we have for you today. Now, the University Grants Commission, or the UGC, is set to revamp the undergraduate maths curriculum in the country. But the truth is, not everyone, especially students and academics, are on board. Now, over 900 mathematicians and researchers have sounded an alarm, saying the proposed changes in the curriculum will take the country backward, not forward. Remember, the new curriculum integrates traditional Indian methodologies and history, sparking debate over whether it is relevant to mathematics in the 21st century. Take a look at this special report from Milan Sharma.
More than 900 mathematicians and researchers have sent a petition to the University Grants Commission, urging it to withdraw the draft undergraduate math curriculum for 2025, which was made public in August. The draft, called the Learning Outcomes Framework, was to modernize math studies, but educationists say it does the opposite. The draft curriculum includes Vedic maths, Kala Ganana or ancient timekeeping, Panchanga, Bharatiya geometry and trigonometry. Information on ancient math scholars like Aryabhatta, Bhaskara II, etc. It shrinks algebra into one semester and machine learning to 15 hours. There are also electives like math and music and math and meditation. Scholars say while all this sounds cool, they don't really add much value. Their petition says that if this draft goes through, India's next generation of scientists, engineers and coders could fall behind.
This course, according to me, is ill-conceived, gives less focus to the important mathematics that students to study, and gives undue emphasis on courses that are no more relevant as far as modern mathematics is concerned.
It has been replaced by obsolete courses and with an unnecessary emphasis on ancient mathematics of India. For example, if a math student wants to go into research, then now they will find that they hardly have learned any algebra or analysis.
The UGC says feedback is still under review.
Now, the real question to ask ourselves is the new mathematics curriculum going to help our Gen Z move into the future, learn innovation in robotics and artificial intelligence, and make them ready to compete on world stage? or is it just taking us backwards in time? With video journalist Emmanuel, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.
Let's turn to our Get Real India story that's both shocking and saddening. A 45-year-old farmer tragically ended his life in front of revenue officials in Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar district in Maharashtra. The officials had come to conduct a land survey. So why did the farmer end his life in front of them? Take a look at this shocking Get Real India story.
The bureaucracy's heavy-handed actions leave a farmer dead in Maharashtra. "45-year-old Sanjay Sheshrao Kakade died after he jumped into a well in front of the officials who had come to survey his fields in Khadgaon, a village in Sambhaji Nagar, on Tuesday.
2 दिवसापूर्वी आम्हाला नोटीस आली होती की आमचा रस्ता अडवला म्हणून आणि मंडळ अधिकारी शिंदे मॅडमना पैसे घेऊन आमच्यावर दबाव टाकला आणि लगेचच आमच्या माणसाने आत्महत्या केली. त्यांना साऱ्याला आजची आज अटक झाली पाहिजे.
Villagers say deep excavations were carried out on both sides of Kakade's field to construct a road from Khadgaon to Kharda. This flooded Kakade's field with rainwater and blocked access to his land. Kakade's crop was destroyed and he tried to reason with the officials who were preparing a panchnama.
मंडळ अधिकारी मॅडम आले होते, शुभांगी शिंदे आणि तलाठी होते. मॅडमला बोलायला लागलो तर मॅडम ऐकूनच घ्यायला तयार नाही. त्यांचंच बोलायला लागल्या. त्यांचं सगळं ऐकून घेतलं आणि तिथं गेल्यावरती आमच्याकडून काहीच नाही बोलल्या, सगळं तिकडूनच बोलल्या. त्यांचीच बाजू घेतली. माझ्या काकाला सहन नाही झालं. माझे काका सगळं खरं खरं सांगत होते आणि नंतर माझ्या काकानी 1:45 वाजता विहिरीकडे आले, कुदी टाकली तरी त्यांनी कोणीच नाही बघितलं नुसते माझ्या बघत होते, कोणाला फोन सुद्धा नाही केला.
संजय शेषराव कोकडे यांची जी घटना झाली, आज त्यांच्या कुटुंबाची संपर्क घेण्यासाठी आलो. मी या ठिकाणी शासनाचा प्रतिनिधी म्हणून शासकीय त्यांना जी मदत करते ती मदत करण्याचा माझा प्रयत्न राहील आणि त्या प्रकरणामध्ये काय काय आढळलं त्या अनुषंगाने त्या ठिकाणी रीतसर कारवाई केली जाईल.
Kakade's death has once again exposed the plight of farmers and the insensitivity of the administration. With Ishraruddin Chishti, Bureau Report, India Today.
Farm suicides in Maharashtra that continue to take tragic turns. Okay, it's Friday night. Let's leave you though with a good news today story. And our good news today story comes from Punjab, where at a time when many students often shy away from science and maths, there's someone who's trying to make it accessible to the people of the country by driving change in his own area. 58-year-old physics teacher Jaswinder Singh has turned his car into a mobile laboratory. So what does he do? He goes on the streets and through simple yet fascinating experiments is inspiring curiosity not just among children but among the old as well. Take a look at tonight's Good News Today story.
ਇਹ ਛਾਨਣੀ ਹੈ, ਘਰ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਮੋਰੀਆਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਿਆ, ਪਰ ਇਸੇ ਛਾਨਣੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਉਲਟਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਐ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਰ ਦੂੰਗਾ. ਇਹ ਕਮਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਜਾਦੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਸਾਇੰਸ ਹੈ.
Jaswinder Singh is on a mission to popularize science and mathematics.
ਨਹੀਂ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਥਮੈਟਿਕਸ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ. ਸਾਇੰਸ ਮੈਥਮੈਟਿਕਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਇੱਕ ਸਟੈਪ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ.
The 58-year-old physics teacher has converted his sedan into a lab.
मैंने तब शुरू किया जब मुझे ये महसूस हुआ कि बच्चों को प्रैक्टिकली जो है वो सीखने में ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है. क्योंकि जब बच्चों को मैं करवाता था ना कोई एक्सपेरिमेंट, तो वो उसमें ज़्यादा डूब जाते थे और कहते सर एक और करवाओ ऐसा. तो लेकिन पढ़ाते पढ़ाते कभी नहीं उन्होंने बोला कि एक चैप्टर और पढ़ा दो. तो इसलिए मैंने देखा कि प्रैक्टिकल की इंपॉर्टेंस बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो मैंने ये प्रैक्टिकल शुरू कर दिया. ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਥੋੜੀ ਦੇਰ ਬਾਅਦ.
Jaswinder Singh's work is not limited to Punjab.
पंजाब के अलावा जो 13 स्टेट्स हैं इंडिया की, वो मैं कवर कर चुका हूँ। जो नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स हैं वो तो हैं ही, जम्मू कश्मीर, हिमाचल प्रदेश, राजस्थान, हरियाणा, और इसके अलावा तेलंगाना गया हूँ, कर्नाटका गया हूँ। ये सारी जो स्टेट्स हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश है, ये सब, उत्तराखंड है, ये सब कवर किए हैं मैंने।
Jaswant's Lab on Wheels, which embarked on this mission in 2012, takes experiments to the masses.
जब ये देखा ना कि साइंस से स्टूडेंट्स कम होते जा रहे हैं दिन ब दिन साइंस में पढ़ने में रुचि नहीं रही है, मैथमेटिक्स के डर से भागने लग गए हैं, तो ये बेसिक सब्जेक्ट है और मैथमेटिक्स तो हर एक को आना ही चाहिए और साइंस तो हर एक को पढ़ने के लिए जरूरी है। साइंस तो घर घर में साइंस चल रही है, उसके जो किसी के भी माता जी हैं वो घर में साइंस के प्रयोग करते रहते हैं, चाहे वो चाय बनाना है, चाहे वो खाना बनाना है, चाहे जो भी करना है काम, वो साइंस का ही होता है।
Jaswinder Singh has won many awards for his efforts, including national awards from the President of India. With Prem Kumar Pasi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Wonderful stories from different corners of the country. Thanks for watching. Up next is my colleague Maria Shakil. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night. Shubh Ratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar. Have a good weekend.